Here's why most salespeople hate prospecting and making phone calls, following up with customers, and they fail at it miserably. And here's how you can capitalize and get a lot better at it. I'm Brian Maxwell, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through some of the biggest mistakes that are made by salespeople at dealerships when reaching out to their customers, and how if you just tweak these few little things, how you'll see your results just explode, and you'll see a drastic improvement in your phone calls and the amount of appointments that you have coming in, confirmed, and the amount of units that you sell. So let's get into it. Number one, when you're making an outbound call, let's just face it. When your management is saying, hey, did you make your dials? Did you make your dials? Did you make your dials? Most salespeople will sit down and say, okay, you want me to make my dials? That's what I'm going to do. And the whole focus is more so on getting through the dials than it is getting to an actual person. Quite honestly, if you're anything like I was 15, 16, 17 years ago, when I would make those outbound calls, I would hope that I would get a voicemail, because if somebody picked up the phone, it was almost like I was going to be tripped up, I was going to say something, or I didn't want to hear them tell me no or hang up in my face. So to avoid it, I would literally hope that I would get a voicemail. Now, as time progressed, I began to learn things. I actually sat by one of the best telephone salespeople I had ever seen in my life up to that point. And his name was Roger Stillwell. And what Roger would do, man, he was able to make phone calls to people, get them on the line. And the amount of appointments that this man was able to set was phenomenal. And so I started listening in and hearing what it is that Roger was doing. And what he did was amazing. And since that time, I took what I learned from Roger, those few things, which was bare bones. And with the application, meaning with the way that I applied it, with the things that I've learned over the years, I've come up with a surefire way for you to be able to make those same type of outbound calls and have a tremendous response rate or appointment rate with your guests. Number one, when reaching out to somebody making an outbound call, I want you to remember one thing. Nobody makes an outbound call to their friend addressing them by first and last name, okay? That is a surefire red flag for them to know you're a salesperson. So when you call and say, hey, can I speak to Brian Maxwell? Right there, they say, well, this person obviously doesn't know me, because what friend or someone that's familiar with me addresses me by first and last name? So when you make a phone call to a person, you should always ask for that individual by first name. Now, immediately, what you do right after that, because when you say, hey, I'll speak to Brian, their mind is going and saying, who is this person? Do I know them? They're calling, asking for me like we're familiar. So you want to put their mind at ease immediately. So you want to let them know where you're calling from, what city you're based in, okay, and who you are. So it's, you might call and say, hey, can I speak to Brian? This is Brian. Brian, this is Brian Maxwell calling from ABC dealership in Jacksonville, Florida. Hope you well today. Okay, so right there, after I said their name, their mind is spinning, and now they're saying, oh my God, who is this person? So to allow their mind to stop running and racing and trying to figure out who I am or if they know me, you immediately let them know who you are, where you call from, and what city you're based out of, okay? And hope they're doing well. And then you want to follow it up immediately with the reason why you're calling, because here's the issue. A lot of salespeople make that outbound call, and they never give the customer the reason. Yeah, they eventually figure it out that the person is calling and trying to sell them a car over the phone, which is something you should never do. But, they don't have any clue of what's going on. And once they get it in their mind that you're just calling and trying to sell them something, you're done. So when you call, you want to give them the reason. So here's what I mean. So you may call and say, hey, can I speak to Brian? Yeah, this is Brian. Brian, hey, this is John Riley calling you from ABC dealership in Jacksonville, Florida. Hope you well today. John, the reason why I'm calling is because some information came across my desk that Brian Maxwell was looking for some information on the 2020 Mazda whatever or Ford whatever. And my reason for my objective is just to answer any questions and provide any information that you may be looking for. So am I speaking with the right John? Or am I speaking with the right Brian? Okay. So when you call, you want to ask by first name. You want to immediately, once they say yes, you want to immediately let them know who you are, where you calling from, and what city. Okay. And hope that they're having a good day. Don't ask them, are they? But hope they are. The next thing you want to do is give them a reason. Hey, the reason why I'm calling is because some information came across my desk or some information came across my computer that, John Riley or Brian Maxwell was looking for information on a pre-owned whatever it is, or on a 2019 whatever it is, or 2020 whatever it is. So my objective is just to answer any questions that John may have, and to provide any information that John may be looking for. Am I speaking to the right John? And once they say yes, okay, awesome. John, now, as far as with this and whatever they're looking for, this pre-owned, this 2020, whatever it is, as far as with this, what questions can I answer for you, or what information would you like? Okay, so if you notice, the call is all about a level of service. You're calling to help them. Now, of course, you want to do your best to schedule an appointment, because that's all you're selling at this point is the appointment. You're not selling the vehicle. You're only selling the appointment. And too many salespeople try to get on the phone and try to sell a vehicle, when in reality, it is challenging enough to do it when somebody has their eyes and can touch it and they're right there at the store, let alone when it's over the telephone, where you lose the ability to see body language. You lose the ability to be able to make some type of more of an emotional connection with you all sitting and being right there and transferring energy. Everything's over the phone. And you're at the mercy of whatever is going on in their surroundings, whether the TV is on, their kids are playing, their spouse or partner is talking to them. You have no idea. Okay? So when you're reaching out over the phone, you have to be a lot more precise and more intentional than you would when you meet somebody face to face. All right? So you want to make sure that you give them the reason. And you're there just to answer any questions and provide any information. Now, after they may ask you a couple of questions, let's just say they ask you about the price. And here's where a lot of salespeople get stumped. They say, oh, price isn't important. You shouldn't worry about that. We'll get to it when it comes. Well, damn it. How do you ever expect anybody to be willing to come in and do what you asked them to do when what they asked you to do, you ignored it? So you never want to do that. The fact that the lead comes in advance, you see if they're looking for something that's pre-owned, and you see if they're looking for something that's new. So before you make that phone call, you want to always make sure if they're looking for a pre-owned 2018, let's just say Toyota Camry. Okay, so you know they're looking at that. But you also know that you have new Toyota Camrys on the lot. Okay, so when they do ask you for a price, and you should always be prepared for this, which means when you get that lead, immediately check your inventory. Okay, we got that on the pre-owned, and then we do have our high-end, our limited model of this particular vehicle, bam. So now you've given yourself a range. So, and you should do this on every single lead that you're calling if they put in what specific vehicle they want. So now, guess what? When they say, hey, Brian, I was wanting to get some pricing. Awesome. I hear what you're asking, man. Great question. Well, the good news is I do have them ranging in price from $16,752 all the way up to $43,789. So for us to narrow it down and see which one is the best fit for you, just want to know what's the best time for you to come in here. I have an opening this morning at 11 or this afternoon at 4. Which one of those are going to work best for you? Okay? So always be prepared to give a range. And here's why that's important. They asked you for a price. Guess what? You satisfied it by giving them a range, which is factual. Number 2, in reality, you do want to narrow it down and see which one works best for them. And what's going to be the best way of that? By getting them in there, letting them put some eyes on it and touch it and see which one works. All right? Now, let's just say they say, okay, well, I can come in at 4. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Too many salespeople never, ever confirm the appointment. The person says, I'll be in at 4. They say, okay, I look forward to seeing you. Man, that doesn't mean anything. Get them to confirm with you out loud that they're going to make it. And here's how you do that. So they say, yeah, we're going to come in at 4. Okay, awesome. Now, John, let me ask you, man, other than an unforeseen natural disaster, are you confident that you're going to make our appointment at 3 o'clock or at 4 o'clock? And when they say yes, boom, not only did they confirm you, but they confirmed it themselves. Now, you notice I said, are you confident you'll make our appointment, which will generate a yes, as opposed to you think there's any reason why you won't be here? Now, that'll force them to say no. The name of the game is yeses, y'all. So when you're making these phone calls, remember, ask for them by first name. When it's your turn, make sure you say your name, what company you with, what city you're in, and hope they're having a great day. And then immediately give them the reason. The reason why you're calling is because some information came across your computer, and you want to make sure that you answer any questions and provide any information for the person that's looking. And then number 3, after you answer the questions, you want to get in there so they can look at it and you guys can narrow it. I mean, if they ask you for the price, give them a range, and then you want to set it up for them to come in so y'all can narrow it down. And then after they set the appointment, confirm it with them. Other than an unforeseen natural disaster, are you confident you will make our meeting at 4 o'clock? Yes. Boom. Send them a text, send them an email, log it into your CRM. All right. Now, if you like these tips, there's many, many more, and you don't want to miss this. So hopefully you enjoyed this. And if you like this, the sales training program that's online that you get instant access to is going to blow your mind. So click the link in the description, go on over, and I look forward to seeing you at the dealership.